The story begins on the cold, wind-beaten plains of Mongolia, where a boy named Temujin, born to a struggling nomadic family, rose from complete obscurity to become the most influential conqueror history has ever recorded. His empire stretched further than the imagination of his enemies, covering nearly 13 million square miles and reaching from the Pacific Ocean all the way to Eastern Europe. But the true shock of his legacy isn't the borders he controlled, the kingdoms he crushed, or the cities he built. The most extraordinary part of his story lives quietly in the bodies of millions of people alive today. According to modern genetic research, nearly 16 million men, about 1 in every 200, carry a Y-chromosome that can be traced back through centuries to this one man. His empire fell long ago, but his DNA never did. The rise of a world-shaping force. Genghis Khan's journey from orphaned nomad to global conqueror was anything but accidental. Born into a tribe continually threatened by rivals, Temujin grew up in a world where betrayal and violence were part of daily life. This harsh upbringing sharpened both his instincts and his understanding of human nature. When he finally united the scattered Mongol tribes under his command, the world had never seen an army like his. Mongol soldiers were unmatched in speed, discipline, and psychological warfare. They traveled light, moved fast, and struck with terrifying precision. Their reputation spread ahead of them like a storm cloud. Yet what separated Genghis Khan from other conquerors wasn't just battlefield brilliance, it was his ability to see beyond war. He built alliances, forged loyalty, and reshaped political networks with a clarity and confidence that few rulers in history have ever matched. Instead of simply replacing local rulers with Mongol governors, he wove his dynasty into the leadership of conquered territories. His daughters and granddaughters became the power brokers of Asia, marrying rulers from diverse kingdoms and ensuring total Mongol influence without constant military presence. Through this strategy, the Khan lineage didn't just rule lands, it infiltrated them. Why his genetic footprint is so gigantic? Many powerful leaders influenced history. Few influenced biology. Genghis Khan did both. His genetic legacy is uniquely vast because his strategy blended conquest with the deliberate spread of his bloodline. Mongol aristocrats, especially his sons and grandsons, held enormous political power, and with power came access to marriages, concubines, and alliances. These unions produced children across regions that spanned from China to the Caspian Sea. Historical accounts suggest that his eldest son, Jochi, fathered more than 40 sons, although the real number may have been much higher. Multiply this across generations, across brothers, cousins, grandsons, and great-grandsons, and the genetic ripple effect becomes enormous. Unlike other conquerors, such as Alexander the Great or Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan didn't leave his legacy to chance or romantic stories. He built a systematic dynasty that produced thousands of descendants in noble houses across Asia. This unique combination of political power, polygamy, and geographic reach explains why his Y-chromosome spread so far so fast. The scientific discovery that changed history. The truth about Genghis Khan's genetic legacy wasn't fully understood until 2003, when a groundbreaking study of Y-chromosomes across Central Asia revealed a jaw-dropping pattern. Researchers noticed that a specific Y-chromosome haplotype, a genetic signature passed almost unchanged from father to son, appeared with unusual frequency in Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, northern China, and parts of Afghanistan and Pakistan. The numbers were so large that they demanded explanation. By analyzing the mutation rates and comparing the spread of the marker with historical data, geneticists traced the origin of this haplotype to a single man who lived roughly 1,000 years ago, precisely the lifespan of Genghis Khan. The marker was most concentrated in regions once ruled by Mongol elites. It matched the geography of Mongol expansion and the known migration patterns of families connected to Genghis Khan's lineage. Every piece of evidence lined up. No other historical figure had the scale, reach, and reproductive influence to explain the distribution. While the absence of Genghis Khan's actual remains prevents absolute confirmation, historians and geneticists overwhelmingly agree that the haplotype belongs to him. This discovery didn't just change our understanding of Mongol history, it changed our understanding of how a single person's life can affect millions who come centuries later. Power, polygamy, and the human empire. The Mongol Empire's political system created the perfect environment for genetic expansion. Mongol nobles often took multiple wives, and women captured during conquest became concubines. These relationships produced sons who inherited their father's influence and continued the cycle. But this was not merely a matter of personal desire, it was a political weapon. By marrying his daughters and granddaughters into newly conquered kingdoms, Genghis Khan ensured that Mongol blood permanently flowed through local leadership. These women were not passive figures. Many ruled territories directly while their husbands served in the Mongol military. They were governors, administrators, diplomats, and power centers in their own right. Their influence stabilized the empire and helped shape Eurasian politics long after Genghis Khan's death. Yet this legacy carries weight. The Mongol conquest devastated entire civilizations. Cities like Nishapur and Merv were destroyed so thoroughly that survivors from those massacres described them as apocalyptic events. The Mongols altered populations through warfare as much as through marriage. The spread of Genghis Khan's genes cannot be separated from the violence that allowed his empire to rise. The paradox of his legacy, achievement built on destruction, remains one of history's most complex debates. Genghis Khan's DNA in the modern age. Centuries later, the Y-chromosome linked to Genghis Khan continues to thrive. In certain Central Asian populations, nearly 8% of men carry the marker. In Mongolia alone, the percentage is even higher. The genetic footprint mirrors the former Mongol Empire, stretching from northeast China to Uzbekistan and down into northern Pakistan. As DNA testing becomes more accessible, people around the world are now discovering connections to this lineage through services like 23andMe and Ancestry DNA. While these tests cannot confirm personal descent from Genghis Khan specifically, they can reveal whether a person belongs to the same unique Y-chromosome family that originated during his time. For many, the idea of sharing genetic roots with one of history's most powerful figures transforms the way they think about their past. This genetic reach is not a historical curiosity, it is a living legacy. Every generation that carries this Y chromosome extends the influence of a man who died more than 800 years ago. Few legacies in any field of human achievement last this long or spread this widely. A legacy written in blood, history, and time. Genghis Khan reshaped the medieval world through force, intelligence, and strategy. He destroyed kingdoms, built empires, opened trade routes, and connected distant civilizations that had never interacted before. But his most enduring legacy is not carved into stone or preserved in palaces. It lives inside millions of human beings. His DNA tells a story that history books cannot. It reveals how one human life, shaped by hardship, ambition, vision, and brutality, can ripple across continents and survive the collapse of nations. It reminds us that history is not only written by the victors, it is also written in chromosomes passed quietly from father to son across generations that forget the wars but inherit the genes. Genghis Khan's story forces a powerful question into the modern mind. If a child born on a remote, impoverished steppe could leave a mark that lasts 1,000 years, what marks are the rest of us leaving behind? History remembers his name. Genetics remembers his blood, and humanity, knowingly or not, still carries pieces of the man who once ruled the world. If this deep dive into the hidden genetic history of humanity made you see the past a little differently, make sure you hit that like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay curious, stay fascinated, and keep exploring the world hidden beneath history.